Hello, good morning, everybody. As I'm able to breathe at the moment, it's time for some stamp collecting fun. So, what have we got today? Well, I've got 7 stamps of interest. I've lined them up, and they will be produced in front of you for dissection and for investigation and to see what we've got. They are from the Arts and Crafts 1,000 stamps that I received, and that I didn't have any information at all about, either from the stamp itself or from my own knowledge, which is minimal anyway. In other words, they needed looking up. I didn't know really which country they were from, etc, etc. Anyway, we'll get to the first one. We'll get rid of this. Look, I had a letter. Okay, so we scrape down. When I scrape, it's scraping the book really rather than the stamp. I'm trying to be gentle with the stamp. So what have we got here? Oh, this is a very attractive stamp immediately. I love the colour. I love these colours that really shine out and stand out, and they deserve to be loved and kept. It's in good condition, this stamp as well. So what have I gleaned from this just by looking at it? Well, it's Republique Française. So we're looking at a French stamp, presumably. It's got chiffre tax. So tax cipher, chiffre, remember him, Le Chiffre, in that James Bond film, which was the first one, which was, I forget the name of it, Casino Royale. And it's also got a Perse voir, and underneath Post Indochina. So already there is a bit of information jumping out, which I wasn't able to see in bad light. We've got daylight today, thankfully, so I'm able to have a proper look at it. And it's got 1/5 of a cent on it. So what do I know about it? Well, I put it under inspection, and the Google Lens told me it was a 1931 to 41 French Indochina stamp. So I've gleaned the date. What else do we know about this stamp? Well, I put it under the auspices of AI. And first of all, Indochina, it was a federation of French territories. Whatever that means, presumably it's a gathering of French territories within the Indochina area, which I think is southwestern Asia. The first stamps there were produced in 1886, the first one coming out on the 6th of May. And these were, and what they did was they used generic stamps of French colonies around that area rather than produce their own. In 1889, they did start to overprint Indochina on those stamps, and they were used mainly in Saigon. The last time, or the last issue, I should say, of stamps in Indochina was on the 13th of June 1949, and this was due to sort of rebellions that had been going on over a number of years. And it was just past the Second World War, where everything really in that area was up for grabs again. And France actually clung on as long as they could. But subsequently left in 1954, and Indochina now has presumably been subceded to some of the territory, can't really tell you where, possibly in China itself. This stamp actually is an official tax stamp, so whether this would be used as postage, don't know. Not quite sure if it qualifies as a postage stamp, but it is a stamp and deserves to be loved, and we move it to one side and we bring down the next stamp, which is a pink or violet colour, I would say. What can I see on it? Well, it's got 10, the cost is 10. It's got a 6 on it there. I can tell it's China because of that sign there, but that is all the information I've got. So what is this stamp? Again, with my friends in AI and in Google, this is a 1961 to 1970 stamp. China, it is 10 fen, apparently, and the scene we see is Pagoda Hill. It was used as a definitive between 61 and 70, so that means if you went in and just got an ordinary stamp, this is what you were given. That is really all I've got about it. I haven't investigated Pagoda Hill. I didn't really have time. So we move that to one side and we'll drag down the next one. And this is Japan. You can probably see the round. They love sunflowers, so when I see a sunflower there, I immediately think Japan. So when I investigated, it turned out to be indeed Japan. That's all I could investigate from it. There's plants and flowers and rocks and things, sand and hills and rain in the stamp. Can't really identify much, so I put it under Google Lens and I requested information from AI. It is 1948, 10 yen Japanese stamp. And again, it's nothing exciting. It is a definitive. So you bowl up to the post office, and this is what you receive for your 10 yen. 1948, just after the war, so, really looking to exist, you would say. The back of it is a bit dodgy, but yeah, this will go in my Japan section. Okay, we'll go to the fourth stamp. We'll drag this down without really hurting it. Again, that sunflower is there to the fore. So again, I'm looking at Japan. It does indeed turn out to be a Japanese stamp, but this is particularly more early than the previous one. So I was excited to see this. And this is 5 sen, by the look of it. 5 sen. What have we got here? Well, it is a 1914 to 1925 Japanese stamp. It's a definitive again, I believe. And it says on it, there's some writing on it which the AI picked up on. And what the writing is, it's from the Tazawa series. So what is Tazara? Well, it has Tazara Shogun on it. So what or who is that? Tazara Shogun, or Shogun Tazawa, was the designer of this stamp. And he did a series of them. And this is one of them. I mean, it's nice. It's hardly copyable. I mean, difficult to fake it. It's nice, though. And it's been cancelled. It has to go to the side and will be progressing to my Japanese page. Okay, next stamp. We've got this. We've got some information already. Lira, so that immediately pointed to Italy. 1,000. Yeah, they deal in a lot of inflationary stuff over there. Sul Bollettino sounds Italian to me. Paci. Don't know what that means. So I looked it up a little bit, what I could, and it turns out to be a 1,000 lira parcel post stamp. The year is 1954. It's got a horse and jockey, and it's got Sul Bollettino. Well, what I did learn about this was these stamps usually come in pairs, so one to send, one to receive. They're tiny stamps, very small compared to that, for example. Put two together and suddenly they would make that maybe a bit bigger. Well, actually, the 20 times 24 millimetres, I did measure them, and they were used until the early 60s. Sul Bollettino is to send, so the other stamp with it has Sul So, oh, it's got something else on it which I didn't take note of. Fairly interesting. Yes, nice stamp. It'll go in my Italy collection. Pull the next one down, please, Peter. Okie dokie. We're still in the year 1954, and this is China. Again, you can see just there, that mark there. It's a box with a line through it. 250 fen. So we see some inflation from 1960. Not inflation, no, actually, it's got 250 fen is actually. We looked at fen earlier, didn't we? There was 62 Chinese stamp, and this is a 1954 China stamp, and this is 250. What's going on here? Don't know. But what I do know is that this stamp is called the Gate of Heavenly Peace. There we have it. That's the Gate of Heavenly Peace. Also known as Tiananmen Gate. So presumably this is Tiananmen Square that we're looking at here, and this is the gateway into it. I stand corrected if you know different, but maybe it's worth looking up Tiananmen Square to see if there's a big tower there. And maybe then it would be justified for me to say that this is Tiananmen Square. Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Anyway, what else do I know about it? 250 yen, fen, I should say. And that is it. So we'll plough on, we'll move it to one side. And finally, moment, the 7th stamp. Right, well, we've got a bird. We've got Tetrad urogalus, which is presumably the official name of the bird. RPE, I don't know, and 11. So I had to take a Google Lens photo, and it told me it was an Albanian stamp. It is from 1963. It's in a bird series, and the 11 is the cost, which is 11 leke, L-E-K-E. What is this bird, though? I couldn't just let it pass. What is the bird? It turns out it's the Western capercaillie. Western capercaillie, which is native to around that area, but it does get around Europe a lot, this bird. And 2 other countries actually have produced stamps with this bird on it, one being Poland and the other being Liechtenstein. So, you know, the bird does travel, have wings, will travel, and it's popular enough to have its own stamp on 3 countries and to have a proper name as well. Anyway, there we have it. That's it then for now. So we've had 7 stamps. I hope you found this. It's fun, isn't it? Stamp collecting is fun, and we're learning all the time. These stamps, which I've now gathered together, some will be going in albums, some will be going in a box, and some will be kept to one side as specials. This one maybe, I quite like the Indochina one. Anyway, thanks for watching. Tell me what you think. What do you do with your stamps? This is a W.H. Smith stock book, by the way, which I've had for a number of years. Have a great day today. Thanks for watching, and leave me a comment, leave me a like, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Goodbye from Peter.